Hello and welcome to I Have Noticed Tarot. My name is Ewan and today we are continuing with the court cards of the Wands. Now if you haven't already looked at the Wands suit, I highly recommend you look at the playlist that has all the minor arcana wands on it so you have greater context for the court cards, and do go back and look at the Knight of Wands video as well, as the court cards do go in a specific order, just like the minor arcana. And indeed, I have actually done a small video going through the court cards in general, because there is a structure to these cards, including their elemental attributions, which can't really be understood unless you watch that video, and they give greater understanding to why the court cards are certain personalities and why they are what they are in divinatory interpretations. Now we will be touching a bit on that today, but I do recommend you go back and look at that court cards video and the Knight of Wands first. And of course, the entire suit of the Wands. Now if you're here just for the Divinatory Interpretations, there is a timestamp down in the description, but I can guarantee you will not understand why they are what they are, and it will not give as much context to your readings unless you watch the description and the symbolism at least once. So we're going to go straight into the Queen of Wands then. So here we see an imposing monarch, and she's surrounded by flame and stands proudly at the centre of the card. In her left hand on the right side we see her holding a golden wand topped with a pine cone. And this is known as a thesis. I think that's how you pronounce it. Thesis, sorry. Whilst her right hand rests on the head of a tamed leopard. A shining crown of light radiates from her flaming hair and is topped with the symbol of the Chief Adept, this winged disc which we saw arriving in the Five of Wands. The Queen's features are confident and calm as her closed eyes silently peer down at us from a shard-like throne of fire. So now we're going to go into the description. We've done the description, sorry. We're going to go on to the symbolism of the Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands is the water of fire. Water being the queens and fire being the wands, and rules the last third of Pisces and the first 2/3 of Aries on the Decan wheel, which is the zodiac wheel. She represents the embodiment of creative force in motion, the flow state of energy that is confident, directed and adaptable, and we may liken her to lava. The Queen's water aspect brings order to the Knight's wanton energy, creating this volcanic throne we see in the card, and it is from here that she dominates the universe, as is her right. The Thesis alludes to the mysteries of Bacchus in Greek mythology and Roman mythology, that being passion and pleasure, and it is a potent symbol of fertility, which would be drenched in honey by the priests of Bacchus back in the Roman and Greek periods. The pine cone has been a universal symbol of bounty, and a bounty of energy specifically. Whilst the honey in this ritual alludes to the divine nectar known as ambrosia, the ultimate pleasure and elixir of life. This is not the base pleasure of the body, but the ecstasy of enlightenment that comes through the body. The Queen wields the Thesis because she knows that she is the dominant force in the relationship between energy and matter. Nothing comes into being without her say. Meanwhile, the leopard is a symbol of the Queen's speed and power, its tamed state reflecting the complete control she has of her fine-tuned instincts and the power she has to unleash that force of nature that she truly embodies in the volcano. The Queen's crown incorporates the Chief Adept symbol, as we've already said, for the Queen is fully aware of the metaphysical and physical, reflecting her zodiacal attributions, Pisces and Aries, who are both at the end and the beginning of the zodiac year. As such, it is fitting that the crown is placed upon her crown chakra, the Sahasrara chakra, which is equated to Kether in the Kabbalistic tree of life, which the tarot is based upon. There are 12 rays on her crown, as 12 is the number of creativity, harmony, and growth. It is an auspicious number, and we see it across the world's religious and spiritual traditions used to display power, authority, balance, and harmony. I'll just use one example, the 12 apostles, and of course we have the 12 months of the year, the 12 zodiacal signs, and I believe if you go through many different traditions, you'll find 12 is a repeating figure of harmony and completeness. So now we're going to look at the divinatory interpretations of the Queen of Wands, and the way this is going to work is we're going to just go through what she's like in her character, and then we're going to go through the literal interpretations, and then we'll look at what a person may be like if she was, or he was, a Queen of Wands. So the Queen of Wands is a flowing radiance of energy, a dignified and confident woman, filled with pride and power. She is fully aware of the cosmic mystery of creation, for it is her womb that gives birth to the whole of potential's manifest form. She rules the universe and is very aware of that fact. As a person, the Queen is predominantly a masculine energy merging with the feminine, no matter their gender, and is embodied by personalities that tend to be more direct than obtuse and more instinctual than analytical. And they are also universally extroverted and charismatic. They are also kind and generous individuals, full of life, and taking the initiative in any situation. However, they can be vain, snobbish, and suddenly aggressive. And this is a disposition summed up by Aleister Crowley in the Book of Thoth, which is the book describing these cards, that when she misses her bite, she breaks her jaw. Very much all or nothing kind of persona. In divination, the Queen of Wands represents motion, dynamism, and fertility in the energetic sense. When well dignified, the card can represent transformation, independence, spiritual bliss, deep passion, and adaptability. When ill dignified, the card is hot-tempered, intolerant, jealous, vengeful, over-dominating, and possessive. If you ever meet a Queen of Wands, she'll make sure that you never, ever forget her. Now, something I mentioned in the last video about the Knight of Wands is that I attribute a piece of music to each of the Thoth cards, and I've put a playlist below in Spotify, so there's a link below in the description and on my YouTube channel page. And the song that I attributed to the Queen of Wands was the Lady Gaga song Born This Way, because I think this is very much that kind of energy with the Queen of Wands. So thank you very much for listening to the video today. If you found it useful and would like to carry on watching these videos, then please like the video below and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future videos about the Thoth Tarot deck, as well as tarot tutorials and readings for all the zodiac signs. Thank you so much for watching today, and wherever you are in the world, I hope peace is upon you, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.